everybody, and welcome back to my Let's Play. We're actually at just about the halfway mark, roughly. So, New Eden, that's the name of the mall that I need to go to. And, we're gonna just progress that way. I think I need to go down. One thing I hate, you've seen this. Every time Faith is on a pole, she just, like, her face is, like, plastered against the pole, so I have no idea whether I need to go up or down. So, thankfully I'm on my way. And I just thought about this. Apparently, I didn't get around to telling you guys about my speed dating experience. I know you guys were dying to hear about it, especially given the fact that I've never told you that I was gonna do it. But I actually did it a couple weeks ago or so, just to check it out, just to see what it was about. I mean, I had a pretty good idea what it was conceptually, but obviously I'd never done it. And of course, with any new experience, a few minutes before I actually do the thing, I actually arrive at the place, I'm like freaking out. So I thought, at least from like some videos that I've seen, that sort of thing. Oh god, more trains. I think I have a complex about trains in this game, especially given my experience in the last video. But I'd seen some videos about speed dating and all that stuff, and I kind of thought it was one of those things where you would sit at a table and it would be like a one-on-one thing. I mean, my experience was a one-on-one thing, but kind of the physical setup was a lot more relaxed. They had, basically it was the guys that would move around, and I don't know if it's always the case where the guys move around. It's kind of old-fashioned if you think about it, but then again, I am somewhat old-fashioned, so I kind of appreciated it. So the girls would sit in one spot the entire night, and the guys would move around. For us, it was 5 minutes per each round. My fear going into this was that I was going to kind of run out of things to say, and then there would be the awkward silence. I was so worried because I'm not much of a conversationalist, depending. Now, I can talk for hours on end about certain things, and I'm pretty sure that's the case for like most people, but there's some people that obviously can carry a conversation a lot more easily than I can. I admit it. So I was kind of going in there concerned about that, but I said, you know what? I don't want to become overly anxious about that issue. If it happens, it happens. And at least I've found, even doing these Let's Plays too, the more I try to force something, the more I try to like in my head say, oh my god, what do I say, the worse it is. So I just said, you know what, just let it go naturally, just play it by ear, kind of go off the guy's cues, what he's saying, that sort of thing, and take it from there. But luckily for me, overall it was actually a very pleasant experience. I was intimidated, like I always am with anything new, but it actually turned out to be really nice. I didn't get any matches from it. It wound up being like 6 or 7 guys in total, and before I knew it, it was actually over. So I was actually really surprised about that. I didn't get any matches, but I was kind of glad to have done it, just for the sake of saying, okay, I did it, now I know it's not so bad. And would I do it again? Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the guys, they actually were kind of normal guys. And I know that sounds horrible to say, but here's the thing. Of late, I've become really obsessed with Reddit. If you got, oh gosh, okay. I always have to have at least one death per video, just so you guys know. I think you guys are familiar with this by now. But anyway, if you guys are not familiar with Reddit, I would definitely recommend it. It's basically people can post about anything, and the posts are arranged by topics. Like you can look at things that are funny or things that are cute, and then they have like specialized topics as well, which is kind of nice. I'm personally subscribed to. They have Castlevania, Metroid, Resident Evil. Probably no surprise to you guys. But pretty much whatever you can think of, I'm pretty sure they have a subreddit. I think that's what they call it. I'm still very new to it, so I'm just kind of feeling my way around it. But I'm very obsessed with it. Anyway, the reason why I bring that up is because one of my favorite subreddits, and it's so weird, is this thing called creepy PMs, creepy private messages, and it's just a series. I'm gonna be honest, it's mainly women who post whatever creepy messages they receive, and it could be on different sites. It could be anything. It's like Facebook, texts, and then dating apps. You have the Tinder ones, Snapchat, blah blah blah. You name it, somebody's got a creepy message about it. And I don't know why. I guess I just have a morbid curiosity about things like that, but I just obsess with reading that. It's absolutely crazy, and it's absolutely astounding to me how creepy people really can be. And I get it. Look, I'm coming from the experience of being a gamer. I've gotten my share of hate mail. I've gotten my share of voice messages on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network for multiple reasons. Because I'm a girl, that's a big one. Because of my ethnicity, that's a big one. And the list goes on. And just because I'm alive and breathing, a living, breathing human being, boom, I get an instant hate message. I'm trying to think, what's the favorite one that I've received? I've received one where a kid was just screaming in the mic. I mean, mine are not very exciting. This is gonna be rather anticlimactic, to be honest, but there was a kid just screaming in the microphone. There was another. Oh, I remember this one. I was playing Modern Warfare 3, I believe, one day, and I was playing Infected, that game mode, and I didn't even realize that I was on a kill streak. I forget how many kills you need to get a Moab, but I was pretty close to getting one, but I didn't even think about that. Next thing you know, of course, I made the mistake of having not my microphone on, but my Turtle Beach headset on, and I was hearing what other people were saying. Usually I'll have it on just for the sake of hearing the game audio, hearing where people are in relation to me, players. But most of the time, I just kind of put myself in party chat so I don't have to hear the nonsense. You know how it is if you've played. But I did actually hear this guy. Was it that I heard him? It's been a while, so I can't remember the details. I believe it was that I heard him maybe in the game. Yeah, I think I heard him. What map was it in Modern Warfare? It was the map with the mall. Oh gosh, I forget the name of the map. It's been a while since I've played that particular Call of Duty. But anyway, I was sort of tucked away. I was one of the last survivors. For those of you that don't know what Infected is, it's basically you start off as a survivor, and a few seconds into the game, it's about 18 people maximum in the lobby. One random person becomes infected, and then basically what that means is all you have as an infected person is you have a knife and a throwing knife. If you manage to stab somebody, or if you manage to land a successful throw of your throwing knife, you infect someone else. So slowly the infected increase until everybody's infected. If everybody's infected, the infected win. If a survivor survives the length of the match, then the survivors win, the infected lose. So I was one of the last survivors. There was a couple other people around me, and I remember killing people, but like I said, I wasn't really cognizant of the fact that I was getting a kill streak. I'm gonna say I was about 2 kills short of getting a Moab, and then the guy kills me. And of course I hear this shriek, I got you, blah 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 blah, dumb bitch, the usual, because God forbid I'm a girl and I play video games. That doesn't happen. So normally I just ignore people like that, but I just said I just wanted to screw with him, so I said, all I said was, oh, you mad, bro? But I just texted him, sent him a text message on Xbox Live. I wrote it out because I'm like, I'm not gonna get on my microphone and waste my time with this guy, but just decided to get on his message because, and I just wanted to say, you mad, bro? Because I know in my experience, if I'm angry, one of the big things that makes me, oh god, one of the things that makes me even more angry is when someone says calm down or relax. I'm like, oh my god, do you realize that does the exact opposite? 90% of people will get more pissed if you say that to them. Because it's basically, I don't care about your problems, I don't care about the fact that you're mad, and I'm gonna make you feel like an idiot and say you need to relax. I'm like, that is the last thing that an angry person wants to hear. I don't care what anybody says. That's just like, I don't want to give you the time of day, and now I just want to call you out for being ridiculous. That just makes you even more mad. So I'm one of those people. So I said, you know what, let me employ this tactic, and I said, you mad, bro? But, just silly. And he then sends me another message. I forget what it says, but he's just clearly still on like this tirade. But I forgot what he said. I honestly forgot what he said, but I know there was an expletive or two in his message. So I was like, you know what, this is not even worth it. Whatever. So anyway, that was one of my experiences. But I have received multiple hate messages for multiple reasons. But it just, I guess I just have this morbid fascination with people receiving these weird and creepy, hence the name Creepy PM, creepy messages on various social media sites, that sort of thing. So I just read those all day. So anyway, to make a long story even longer, I just found it amazing to me that people didn't act like that. I don't know. That sounds really stupid, and it is, but it's just like, I played a lot of video games. I'm on the internet a lot. It's just like, okay, I'm glad people don't actually act like this. Most people. Some people will still act like that in real life. But anyway, it was overall a pleasant experience. Except for one interesting part, the speed. So I'm going back to the speed dating thing in case you guys weren't able to follow my little train of thought there. It had a purpose, I promise. But there was one guy who was there, and I currently own a Galaxy S5. That's the type of phone that I own, and I have a watch that accompanies it, the Gear 2. And if you guys have that or you've seen that, you know that if you move your hand, it's not necessarily that you're getting a message or a text message or a phone call or anything like that. It responds to your movement and it turns on, the screen turns on. And I'm the kind of person that talks a lot with my hands. I do. Obviously, you guys are not probably aware of that because you guys haven't seen what I look like. But I talk a lot with my hands. So here I am talking about my life story, blah, 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 whatever, shooting the shit. And he is like, wow, somebody's really, really trying to get through to you. And I said, no, that's actually my watch. I'm talking a lot with my hands. You see that? It's just my watch responding to that. Nobody's calling me. But, so I don't know if he was like freaked out by that. Which, by the way, people get freaked out over the stupidest things. By the way, I message people, on different areas. And if you don't message them within 2 seconds, they don't want to talk to you anymore. People point out the weirdest things about you that don't make any sense, that you're just kind of like, what the hell, how is this a big deal? Because I like to think that I'm a pretty easygoing person. I mean, there's certain things that get me pissed off, of course, but I like to think that I'm very reasonable. I like to think that the things that piss me off are within reason. And I'm going the wrong way. I better go on the elevator. So when people just kind of react to me in a certain way, like a very bizarre way or a way that I perceive that's bizarre, it just confuses me more than anything. So this guy's sitting there, and I'm pretty sure that tuned him off, even though it makes no sense why it tuned him off. He probably thought I had some psycho ex-boyfriend stalking me there or something. I mean, I tried to explain to him. And the thing that really gets me is that he shows off his phone because after the whole issue with the watch, I start to talk to him about phones in general. I'm like, well, this watch accompanies my Galaxy S5, blah blah blah. So then he whips out his phone, which is it's also a Galaxy phone, and it has this fancy little, I think it's called Galaxy Edge. I'm not sure. It was definitely, I think it was newer than my model. So in my head, I'm thinking, wow, since we're showing off about technology so much, shouldn't you know better? Shouldn't you know that my watch responds to movement? So I don't know. I just found that weird. And I find in general sometimes people just kind of are very flaky. But I mean, honestly, that was the weirdest. And if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that's really not all that weird. I mean, it could be worse. Let's just put it that way. So other than that, everything else about that experience was really not that remarkable, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't amazing. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. So let's just put it that way. But it was overall a pleasant experience, and that's how I take it. So I think I'm supposed to get up here. So definitely, I will try it again, and I would recommend that anybody try it just for the sake of having it as an experience. Nothing to be ashamed of. Just something, hey, that's kind of different, that's very interesting. Especially for me, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, I have such a hard time like meeting people just because I'm so busy with school and work. So it's just kind of like any new and interesting activity I can use to try to meet new people, kind of network, that sort of thing, or get an opportunity to network. That's what I take it as, and that's all. So this is kind of a little, I don't want to call it an ambush point, but there's a lot of police officers here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick my battles here. This guy, there's actually going to be 2 guys here, right in this area. Apparently he's deaf. I had to walk right up behind him. So I'm not sure if he's gonna, I don't think they're actually gonna walk in here. I don't know why they wouldn't walk in here. There's 2 of them and 1 of me, but it forces me to have to go outside and disarm one of them while the other one will undoubtedly fill me with bullet holes. So let me just try my luck here and get this dude. And then I will go and shoot this. Oh boy. Let me hide in here for a second. Like I said, there's multiple people out here. So I'm gonna take down this guy. I'm gonna see if I could run to my left. Okay. So far, so good. Now, yeah, they usually will shoot out this glass for you, which is actually pretty convenient. The idea is to get across this. There's a little catwalk you're gonna see. So first I have to grab onto this. And a little, that really threw me off. That kind of was a lot more off-center. That was a lot more off-center than I wanted to be. So I think I was just doomed right there. So we're gonna try that again. Hopefully with a little less dying. I mean, it was okay for the most part. It's just that I kind of got hung up there, so it is what it is. I'll try that again. Every time I play a game and I get stuck at a certain part, and I wouldn't call this being stuck. Dying once, not necessarily stuck, but if I die at a point and I just kind of want to get past it, you see that I become a little more aggressive. That's kind of just my play tactic. I start off in a certain part. Whether I've played a game before or whether it's my first time, I'm always kind of a little tentative. Unless it's a game I have I've played so many times, like memorized it. Here. Okay, that was a lot better. So I'll always be a little tentative. But then if I get frustrated, I just say, you know what, F it, and I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so let's just go up here. And I think I'm almost out of this area, which is nice.
Should be one
if I could
door and you're
grab onto this, that would be lovely. And you see how the screen kind of flashed bright blue? I'm not sure what that means, if that kind of is a reset.
Looks like my little friend is back.
Think he's the assassin?
I don't know, but I think I know
And there's
something.
that person I was chasing. Never really got a chance to meet them, but it is what it is. And we continue on with the story.
Hey, Faithy. Nice of you to drop by.
With a little bit of persuasion, Ropeburn was pretty chatty. Told me about his meeting with Hope's killer at the mall.
And you're thanking me, right?
But when I got there, guess who was waiting for me?
No idea, Faithy. I just go there for the pretzels.
Bad case of the blues. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
No, Faithy. It wasn't me. Besides, if I wanted you dead, don't you think I would have just killed you myself?
You're right. A creep like you couldn't have organized.
Now, don't be like that.
Ropeburn's dead.
I'm impressed.
Wasn't me.
You need to be careful who you hang around with.
Oh, I learned that a long time ago.
And yet, here we are again. But I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cut this little meeting short, Faithy. Places to be, you know how it is. Try not to get yourself killed.
Merc, you can stop pretending not to listen now.
What's up?
Can you do a search on Pirandello Kruger Security?
On it.
Why do you ask?
Been seeing their name around. In Ropeburn's
His office and somewhere else.
distinctive logo. Getting anything?
Just what you'd expect. Alarms, fencing, armored cars, private security. Oh, and they secure our world, apparently.
Where are they based?
Few offices around town. Just got a new place down near the docks.
Get me some coordinates.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Head toward the building with the big stupid dog symbol. Loading bay should be a way in.
Alright, so just like that, we're on to the next chapter. Just gonna land this jump here and plan my next move, which I think is gonna be this way. But I will continue on with this chapter in the next episode. Until then.